Welcome to the interview prep series. Wonderful connecting with all of you and after a good gap. Before we start, can you quickly go to the chat box and type you are in which batch? Web 17, Web 16, you're in which batch? 17, I see largely 17. 17, okay, 17, some 16s are coming in between, okay, so largely 17, there could be few web 16s as well. Okay, great. So the whole idea is, as you know, in Masai School, we have an entire journey of 30 weeks, which is broken it into 6 units. When you clear after unit 3, entered unit 4, is something that we start with the MAC process, which is nothing but Masai accredited. It is a long drawn out process. It can go for some time, and unless you are Masai accredited, you would not be able to sit for placement. So one thing that is for sure that all of you must get ready is for the interview. Whether you like it or not, interviews are part of reality. So preparing for the interview is one of the best things that you can do, because all that you have learned in the 30 weeks time is put to test there, and doing good in the interview is absolutely important. So the whole idea about the interview prep series is, our objective is to prepare the learners at Masai School for upcoming placement period. Now, normally the way I look at the journey of a student in Masai School is, you start the journey with saying, I have 30 weeks, 6 units to go, right? Now, most of you have completed 3, you are in the 4th unit. Some of you could also be in the 5th unit as well. Now the reverse counting needs to start as the number of weeks that are left or number of units that are left. And that is the way I always urge the student to look at it. So it is to be 6 units, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. Now you have 3 units to go, or a 2 unit to go, because the countdown is important for you to get ready in that direction. Okay, so let's get started. As you all know that when we started building the curriculum in Masai School, we reached out to the CTOs, the CEOs, and the CHROs to look at, when you hire entry-level developer, what do you look for? They said that it's not just the hard skills that I look for, but also the soft skills and the programmer mindset. And you would be surprised to know that as a developer, you spend only 30% of your time in actual coding. The balance 70% is spent working with people on projects, solving the problem. And that is where your communication skills and the mindset is put to a test. And that's why we consciously developed this curriculum in Masai School for almost 100 hours input that we are giving. And somebody is trying to join me. I don't know what is it is all about. Can someone from the ops can take care? Someone is trying to join from some other company. Please make sure the links are sent. So we launched this skillathon. The whole idea is it's to build the capability for you to get this thing going. The limit has reached 500. Okay, this is something the ops need to check. I'm not sure how this can be resolved. For people who have missed it out, we will send the recorded version, because I cannot upgrade the meeting now. Yeah. Can you all mute yourself at the background? Yep. Okay. Okay, so let's get going. And there are 3 large buckets that we have in the entire preparation. My voice is low. Is that so? Some of you are saying that my voice is low. Okay, yes and no I'm getting. It's fine. No, yes, no. It's audible. Okay, I'll try to increase the voice. I don't know if there is an internet challenge. I have 2 network. I'll keep it going. So let's look at it. There are 3 large buckets: the interview preparation, tech skills, communication skills, soft skills, and math and logic, right? Now let's look at the interview preparation in focus, and let's get going. Okay, so you have got the technical abilities, but are you ready for technical and behavior interview round to land in your dream job? Right, that's the fundamental question to address, right? You have the technical abilities, you have been learning, and right from the day one, and you have put on a lot of abilities so far, and you'll continue to put that. We are just starting in advance so that you get enough time to prepare for the interviews. That's the whole idea about it. So let's get started. I'm going to give you inputs, insights, what that needs to be done to get ready for the interviews so that you can give your best shot on that day. Are we all excited here? Are we all excited here to learn? Because excitement is very important. And one thing that I want to tell you upfront, a lot of people may think, और 3 unit है और 2 unit है to get ready for interview. Why is Masai School pushing? Let me tell you, the sooner you get started, the better is your performance. It will be too late on just before you go for interview to get these basics right and to create an impact. So I would urge you to start now, right? And that's what it's all about. So there are certain mutual expectations I'm going to set so that we are aligned to get the best out of this entire interview preparation series. First and foremost, me and my team will provide you with all the inputs, insights, and framework. And this is built over so many years of experience that we have as a team, right? So all the relevant inputs, insights, and framework will give you. That's the first thing. The second is we will conduct personalized assessment and coaching. And this is a stage when you come, Masai School will invest in individual assessment and coaching because it would be difficult for me to assess in a group how you are doing. The third aspect is you will be introduced to a platform called Taplingua. If you have already done, I'm going to set expectation. I am disappointed with some of the students. Even after giving a Taplingua platform, you have not even started. Why should we invest in you if you are not going to use that particular platform? So Raghav and team, Payoshni and team from operations will be closely monitoring your usage in Taplingua. If you are not using to the relevant threshold level, we are going to deactivate that account for you. And you would practice on your own without knowing what exactly the tool is all about. So I want full utilization of Taplingua. The fourth important aspect, I have seen students who have really done well in the interview are the ones who do deliberate practice. Please remember, there's a difference between repetition and a practice. Practice is something that you work on your weakness areas, work on the feedback given by the CSBT team and the external mentors so that you can get good at it. And finally, the focus is continuous improvement. It is not that I give you some inputs and tomorrow you become ready for the interview. Unlikely. It is all about how do I make that small improvement day after day. The question to ask is, am I better today than what I was tomorrow? So that's a mutual expectation that I'm setting. You will get all the inputs inside. You will get individual assessment and coaching. It calls for a lot of investment. You will get access to Taplingua. That is from our side. From your side, we are expecting 2 things. Deliberate practice is your responsibility because I can't practice for you. And the focus is on continuous improvement. Okay, cool. So let's get started. I want to ask you a first question. Out of 500 odd students out here, it's a full house here. I did not expect 500 plus students here today. How many of you have given job interviews prior? How many of you have given job interviews? Okay. Okay, I see around 100 people have given so far. Okay. Some of them are saying no and never. Okay. Okay. A combination. I think 40-60 would be the ratio, roughly, I would say, but we can get into actual details. Now, what could be the reason why you are rejected in an interview? Can you tell me, friends? Go to your chat box and type, what could be one reason why someone gets rejected in an interview? I see communication, confidence, lack of confidence, communication, my God. Then I have a question to all of you. When you know for sure communication and lack of confidence is one of the reasons, why hasn't that you have been working on it? When that is going to be the main reason, how much time have you really spent on building your confidence level and communication levels? It's a question to be asked by touching your heart, right? When I know, no, there is no vacancy, sorry. You have been called for an interview when there is a vacancy. The HR person or the technical person does not have that time just to have that, right? When you know for sure, demonstrating that confidence and communicating what you know is important to get through the interview stage. My question to all of you is, how much time are you spending on a daily basis? Because every time that I interact with my team, they say, Yogesh, the team spends a lot of time in sharing the concepts, but the student do not practice. It is really, really disheartening to see even on tap lingua. Even on tap lingua, the utilization is low. So why I'm giving you this context is there is something called as obvious truth, but still we have not giving the required attention. Wouldn't it be a foolhardy that after working hard for 30 weeks, doing 996, right? And then getting rejected or not doing well because of lack of communication. Sir, I didn't get enough time. Amit Ghosh, this is unacceptable. You need to manage your time. If you cannot cull out 1 hour every day to build a skill that is the most important piece at the interview, you are not able to manage your time properly. You are not giving the importance what it is required. And it's the hard truth. It is not just Amit. There are so many people out there do the same mistake and it is too late. Okay, so there are 4 major reasons why you are rejected in an interview because lack of required competency for the role, right? No, Raghav, I cannot change the link now. This should have been planned in advance. People who have missed this session, they will watch it, the recording one later. I can't change the rhythm, go to another link and do. I'm sorry. So lack of competency for the role is one of the reasons that why they are rejected in an interview. Now, what is the competency? Competency is a combination of knowledge and skill, right? That is what has been built over the 30 weeks, right? You have been given the requisite knowledge and the skill to be a web developer, to be a software developer, to be a front-end developer, to be a back-end developer. So the lack of required competency for the role could be one of the major reasons why you are rejected. The second reason is, as you all said, below threshold communication skills. That could be the reason. Now, if you are not able to express what you know, how would I, as an interviewer, be able to assess your capability, right? The next reason could be an unprofessional behavior. This is sometimes do happens. People have an unprofessional behavior. That could be the reason there. I'll just try to set the security settings. Some people are trying to unmute themselves. Sorry about it. Okay, so the third reason is unprofessional behavior. I'll talk about Tap Lingua in a moment, not to worry about it. It's an interview app. I will talk about it in a moment. So unprofessional behavior is because of, could be joining late for the interview, not grooming properly, not listening well when the questions are asked, or being rude and interrupting. And many a time candidate sends the signal, I will quit soon. Now, this is something that seasoned interviewers are able to pick it up. If you are going to send a signal that I'm going to quit very soon, why should I hire you? Please remember the cost of recruiting someone is a long drawn process. And by the time I recruit them and put them onto the training and get them ready, I'm going to do this. Right? So for people who don't like interviews, right? There are a lot of people out there that don't like interviews because the moment I say interviews, there's a bit of butterflies in the stomach, some kind of a sweaty palms, some kind of a issue there. Please understand interviews are inescapable reality for us. Whether you're looking for your first job, switching jobs, or even moving up in your own organization. However, to ace any interview, we not only need the know-how, but we need to create an impact by demonstrating competence, confidence, conviction, and courage. I'm going to talk about in detail a little more in detail, right? Already I've spoken about it, competence, but other elements I'm going to talk about it. So let's get started. What are you going to get in this entire interview prep series is I'm going to share with you 3 hours plus content, most probable interview questions, both from the HR perspective and the coding perspective. I'm not including the TSA part. It's a little more technical in nature. We're going to do an in-depth mock interviews are planned and personalized assessment and coaching by our external mentors. All this is to prepare you so that when you go for that interview, you have that confidence and courage to face the panel, to face the interview. And let me tell you, you can overcome the anxiety, nerves, palpitation, butterflies in your stomach simply by preparing well, simply by doing enough mocks. And I have seen students, it doesn't matter what is your background. I had a student in the first batch, he's from a place called Sangli in Maharashtra. He completed his BTech followed by an MCA in VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology. And he started giving interviews. He got rejected in 30 interviews, 30. And he gave up the hope that he can get into tech jobs. He went back to Maharashtra, Sangli. His family was running a garment related trade. You know, they used to do some trade, and he went into it. He always felt that after doing an MCA, what am I doing here? Then he came back and joined Masai school. He did the 6 months program. I realized very early when he was in Masai school, he has a challenge in expressing himself. And whenever is an interview, the monkey captures his brain and he gets overwhelmed and he starts stammering. He starts unable to do that. I personally, and that was the first batch, it was a campus batch. I spent a lot of time with him on a regular basis. We used to do 15-20 minutes mock. And, you know, he cracked the second interview in Masai school. He came and he hugged me, almost tears in his eyes. He says, Yogesh, this is the most the day that I was looking for, because I myself lost hope. My family lost hope in me after spending so many years in education and trying to do that. So I can tell you for sure, friends, I have seen students, if they follow what we say and if they do a deliberate practice, they will crack the interviews. Right? So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you all. Me and my team are committed, but it is your responsibility to put the practice. And that student, trust me, he is to practice every day. He had kept a window of 1 hour only for this. And he used to say, ask me, do one more round with me, Yogesh, do one more round. And I used to be very tough on him. And today he's doing very well. Right? So all of you out there, not to worry about your past. And we at Masai School will make you capable to attend that, to crack those interviews. But it's up to you to make that deliberate practice, take the input of the external mentors, and be prepared for yourself. Okay, great. So you will be able to, what is it that after this course, you'll be able to answer the most common interview questions, develop engaging responses. I'll talk about what is this curveball. Curveball is a very interesting phrase which I'll cover to you today if possible, otherwise on Monday. It's all about narrating compelling, relevant stories. Now you must be saying that, Yogesh, I am a techie. What is this story is all about? I'll tell you why stories are important, why stories are engaging, why stories are so exciting both for the interviewer and the interviewee. Just half an hour back, I did an interview for digital commerce position in Masai school. And this girl is from she's from Varanasi. I don't want to call it as a small town because I have been to Varanasi. It's quite big. It's in fact the oldest continuously inhabited place on the earth. But all said and done, in Varanasi, you may not get the same exposure what you would have got in Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi. But the confidence in which that she spoke, the story that she had about her upbringing, the whole detail that she shared with me, saying that why she chose digital commerce as a career and how she can add value to Masai school. I have recommended her to her. I don't know the technical aspect. That is something my team will check. But in terms of ability to connect, in terms of ability to communicate, in terms of clarity she had, in terms of confidence she had, I said definitely we would like to have her in a team. So it's always a combination of tech and the other areas that needs to be known. Okay, great. So one golden rule that you must remember when you are getting ready for interviews: little things don't mean a lot. No, they mean everything. Those little things, they mean everything. Today I was scheduled for 2 interviews. The previous interview, after me logging at 11 o'clock, the person didn't turn up till 11:04. Right? Then I wrote to my HR head asking that, you have blocked my time. Where is this candidate? Now the candidate says exigency. Come on. Today in the connected world, can't you just message you? Unless you are in a hospital, I can understand. This is what is something is unexpected. The second candidate logged 3 minutes before and waiting for me to start the interview. Now look at these two situations. Completely different, right? And this candidate log in from the laptop. The background is perfect. Prepare herself for the interview. Look at the way in which the interview is going. right? So please remember those little things, they mean everything. When me and my team are going to say that your background is not okay, your lighting is not okay, your internet is not okay, your facial expressions are not okay, your grooming is not okay, your pace is not okay, please take it. Please take it. Now my team has done several thousands of assessment, right? And when they say something, they mean a lot. And this, if you can take it in the right spirit and implement it, you are the one who are going to be successful, right? And none of them are rocket science. I'll tell you, you will hear from me and my team, most of the things are simple, practical, implementable. None of them are rocket science. It's just the mindset of many of the individuals have. Why should I change my profile pic? Why should I groom well? Why should I log on to the time? Why should I follow certain flow which Yogesh and team has shared with me? Now this is largely that fixed mindset with which that you are approaching. You will pay the price, right? Great. Now let's start with a fundamental question before actually getting into the interview prep series. I'm going a little slow here so that we get a hang of what is it ahead. Now I want to ask you out there, I think 500 plus members here, having a job and a career is important. क्यों चाहिए भाई? क्यों नौकरी क्यों चाहिए? Career क्यों चाहिए? Can you please type on the chat box? Paisa. Paisa. Paisa you can get from business. Paisa you can get from different ways. But why job and a career is important for you? Job and a career. Okay? Identity, respect, experience. I'm just reading few things from the chat box. Marriage. Wow, somebody said it. Marriage के लिए job चाहिए. कौन देगा? Right? Right. Absolutely. Future. Now, let's imagine two of us. I would take some person, Arjun. Let's take Arjun. Arjun Singh and me are traveling. Arjun Singh, where are you from? Can you type on the chat box, where are you from, Arjun Singh? Did I read the name correctly? Because too many names. Arjun Singh is from Delhi. Fantastic. Which part of Delhi, Arjun Singh? Which part of Delhi? East Delhi. Okay, let's say that I happen to be in Delhi. And I'm traveling. It could be a metro or it could be a bus or somewhere we are traveling, and next to me is Arjun Singh. What would happen if I am having a conversation? Yogesh and Arjun Singh. What could be the typical conversation? I would say that, hey, I'm Yogesh, and he would say, I'm from Arjun Singh. Are you from Delhi? Yeah, I'm from Delhi. How about me? No, I'm from Bangalore. I have come here to do some business related work related aspect. I have come. Okay, fine. What do you do, Arjun? What do you do, Yogesh? Now, most likely, after asking for the name and where are you from, the next probable question that would come to you for people between 20 to 60 years is, what do you do? Right? What do you do? Sahi hai na? This is a likely question that to get, what do you do? And that, as somebody says, job becomes your identity after your name and where are you from. And let's accept that job and a career is very important. Now let's look at the difference between a job and a career. Are they same or are they different? Now what is the job? Job is basically, it's a short term, whereas a career is long term. It is not exactly typical Indians, Hari Prasad. You are using a wrong phrase here. Please be very cognizant when you write something in the chat box. Do not make certain flippant statements. You have been watched by 500 people. By now, you must know what are the etiquettes to type in a chat box. Do not make flippant statement, because tomorrow you're going to work. And if you make such statement in a meeting, all the eyes will be on you. Right? This is how the corporate is going to work. Please remember, you are transitioning from campus to corporate. Behaviors that were accepted in a campus is no more accepted in corporates. Please understand, in a campus, what was cool is no more a cool in corporate. And that is what Masai School is preparing you. How do you transition from campus to corporate? Okay, let's look at it. Job is a short term and a career is a long term. Most of you are likely to work for 30, 40 years. If you ask me, I've been working for the last 27 years. So job is a short term, whereas a career is a long term. Career is a marathon. When you look at a job, your focus is only collecting money. That is why I get a little annoyed when students say that, why do you join Masai School? They say 8 LPA salary, 7 LPA salary. It's a wrong way to look at it. You're joining Masai School to build a skill so that you can build a career. Money will come in the career. The starting salary is in no way an indication what you're going to have as a career. We know students who started with a very high salary in the first job, they're still at the same level after a year. And I know for students who started with 5-6 lakhs, almost they've doubled their salary or even more than that. So it is important to look at collecting experiences. The first job is extremely important in collecting experiences. I've shared you in the past, right, when I did the initial sessions, there are 3 large learning opportunities in life. The first learning opportunities is when you are in high school, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. The age is between 13 to 18. The books you read, the schools you go, the friends you have, the overall atmosphere, the ecosystem that you build up, the celebrities that you watch, what interests you, shapes your personality. The second opportunity that you get is when you go to college. It could be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and many of you get an opportunity to go to hostel where you experience what is independence. Many things you start making decisions to yourself. Again, a major impact on your personality, on you is the college life that you have. And the third important opportunity that you get is the early stage in your career. The first could be 3 to 5 years. What kind of companies you join, what kind of colleagues you have, what kind of culture that you're exposed to. Because these are extremely important. That is why I keep telling students, pick up jobs if it is giving you the relevant experience, because how does it matter? You're not signing a bond, you're not, wedded to that company. You can always decide to move on, right? When you look at only as a job, you tend to do bare minimum. But when you look at a career, you go beyond. Right? People who look at a career, they are always leave happy at work, looking at, I learned this, I'm going to come back tomorrow and learn this. But people who look at only as a job, they look at it 9 to 5 or whatever it is, 10 to 7, right? They're never happy. And they keep constantly, what do? They keep looking for another job. And because of that, they have a low career growth. But people who look at it as a career, they have a professional growth. So people who look at a job, they have an unstructured role or progression. I see so many people who apply for the job. In 5-7 years, they've changed 6-7 jobs. Continuously job hunting. Because somebody gave a little extra money, somebody gave a fancy designation, they keep jumping. You spoil your resume, you spoil your future. Please remember, you can't undo your resume. Whatever that 4-5 years have gone by, you can't undo it. So look at it in a structured way. So please get ready. What is it that you want to see in the next 10-15 years? You must have a path. Some of you might say that, Yogesh, I don't know, perfectly fine. But keep some path ahead at least. If you're not able to see yourself as a CTO of a company, at least have what is it that you want to do. This is a typical path, right? You join at an SDE 1, SDE 2, SDE 3, then you become a tech lead, then you become an architect, then you become a CTO. Or you could go the other side, the product management route. So it's important for you to envisage what is the path that you like to have, right? So which path you would like to prefer, a grind or a journey, or looking for a new job continuously. And it is very tiring, or moving up the ladder. I'm not saying you should not jump. I'm not saying you should not change your career. You must, and you can if you want to. But doing it crazily, doing it in an unstructured manner just because you didn't like the project, or you didn't like a boss, or you didn't like the city, it is a little funny one. Okay, so I'm sure all of you have some dream jobs, dream careers, dream salary. Good, because dreams are important. You all had a dream, that's why you joined Masai School, right? So we always must have dreams, but dreams alone will not be helpful. You have put in your effort. So first of all, I want to congratulate all of you for completing more than 50% of the journey in Masai School. Almost 30% of the students who join Masai School evaporate in the first 15 days to 1 month, right? Because they have a dream, but they're not willing to put efforts. They have a dream, they're not willing to be perseverant. They have a dream, but they're not willing to show that grit, right? But here is a set of students who have come this way, but it's still not over. It's still not over. Still, you have a good proof of the pudding is when you complete this course, you are Masai accredited, and you sit for an interview and you crack those jobs. Okay, are you all with me so far? I'm setting the context, deliberately going slow. I'm doing a bit of a storytelling to you because I want you to understand what is ahead of you. The rest of the things will happen. Once you understand the why, the what and the hows are much easier. If your why is not strong, no amount of what and how will not help you there. So that is my objective, is to build that why interviews are done, why you need to prepare it in this way, why deliberate practice is important, why to look at as a career versus job. Okay, cool. So let's get started, because powerful dreams inspire powerful action. If imagine if Rupul, Pratik, and me did not have the dreams of attempting the transformation in education, do you think today we would have had 7,000 students in our platform? Unlikely, right? Yesterday I was in Chennai making a pitch to Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. They have invited us because they are super excited to know that we are able to transform individuals in 6 months and make them job ready. And the principal secretary to the chief minister wanted to know what exactly that we do. We said there are two things that are core to Masai School. One is the pedagogy that we have in Masai School. The other one is the effort and the intent with which the students in Masai School go through this journey. Both are important. Without students' effort and intent, it is impossible to do that. Okay, so don't worry about the slides, just concentrate. The entire presentation will be given to you. The summary of this presentation will be given to you. The video recording of the presentation will be given to you. I just want you to note down few important things that becomes like a bulb movement, whatever I'm saying, right? If you have those bulb movements, arey yaar, I should do this. Arey yaar, I'm doing this, I should continue to do this. Those are the points you write it down. I see a lot of people continuously doing screenshots. Screenshots don't help you. I want your complete attention to me, what I'm saying. I want you to listen, absorb, interpret. That's what I want you to reflect. That's what is going to help you. Screenshots are not going to help you. If you type on the Google, how do I prepare for interview, you will have 50,000 search. That is possible, right? So not to worry about the screens that you're missing. Focus on what I'm saying, why it is important. If you get those bulb movements, write it down on a piece of paper in a book so that you can reflect that. Okay, what is this KSF is all about? For any business to be successful, there are key success factors. Similarly, I'm going to tell you, if you want to be successful in securing a tech job, there are few things are non-negotiable. And let's look at those key things. First and foremost is your portfolio and resume. If your portfolio and resume is not strong, you are unlikely to be shortlisted, right? So you need to make sure your portfolio and resume is super strong, right? If your portfolio and resume is not right, you will not be able to shortlist. What constitute the core is your projects. I keep telling you, right? Catches win matches, as Sunil Gavaskar says. Projects win interviews. Projects are the ones which will help you to build robust portfolio and resume. The second one is all about problem solving and coding capability or design capability. The key is, are you able to demonstrate the problem solving abilities? Internships and projects. I'm amazed that students who have completed engineering, they have not done internships. It is really heartening. Why isn't that you have not done internships? Why isn't that you have not built projects? Internships and projects are the building blocks that will differentiate you with others. If you have not done, I know you have missed that bus. Masai School is a great platform to build that projects. In a way, the 7 months that you're doing is equivalent to 1.5 years of work. Make sure your GitHub, your Stack Overflow or HackerRank, Tableau, and some of those domains that your platforms that you're using is top notch. The next is the technical round performance. And off late, companies do look at your LinkedIn or a Twitter profile if you're there. If you're a blogger, if you have a Medium profile, nothing like it, at least get your LinkedIn right. And we are going to help you in making your LinkedIn profile very robust. The last aspect, this is something with some students we have faced problem. 6 months back, our resume was not even getting shortlisted. He didn't know a line of code. The word Git, the student learned after coming to Masai School. Suddenly in 6 months, he gets into an entitlement syndrome. I have completed my Masai school. Somebody has got a highest package in Masai school. I also need to get. Please don't get into this entitlement syndrome. Once you get into that entitlement syndrome, you will pay a big price. Please understand salary is a function of three things. One is the demand. Two, supply. But the third most important is the productivity. What is it that you bring to the table? Are you with me? When the demand is high, supply is low, automatically even tomatoes are considered as cherries, right? And you are paid. But please remember, in the long run, it is the productivity that matters. What is the value that you bring to the market? It matters. I have given you this context. In 1960s, what do you think the most in-demand engineering branch was? I have shared it with you in the past, but I want you to bring that together today again. What do you think? No, it was not mechanical, it was civil. In 1970s and 80 was mechanical. 1990 was electronics. Then started the IT in 2000, and then onwards it has caught up really the imagination, right? So not that people in civil or mechanical can't bring, it's just that the demand supply gap is huge and productivity. So I don't want any of you entering this with an entitlement syndrome. Ask yourself, what is the productivity that you're going to bring to the table? Okay, so let's get going. And the last part is the behavioral round, which we are going to help you in the cultural fit round. And what are these question marks and asterisks? Anything can be asked under the sun in interview, right? In a knowledge exam, there is a specific syllabus on which you are asked, but in an interview, anything can be asked. In fact, today I asked a very interesting question to this candidate. I said, imagine that I happen to meet a friend of yours or colleague of yours. How would they describe Komal Singh? Komal Singh is the person whom I interviewed. I asked her, imagine that I met a person who's your friend or a colleague of his. How would they describe Komal Singh? And she answered brilliantly, right? So anything can be asked. So what I'm saying is, don't come back and say, hey, Yogesh and team didn't teach me this question. We can only give you some pointers what can be asked in the interview, but it's a very vast field. So let's watch a video to make our muscles a bit loose, a little funny video, and then we can continue. Okay, so let's watch this video. Oops, just give me a moment.
This is the nungo. It's juicy, fleshy, icy cold, and moist. It starts out looking.
Okay, can you see this screen? Can you confirm? Okay, can you see the video? Okay, let's watch this.
Well, Greg, your CV is certainly impressive, but I'm afraid you're not quite right for us.
Okay, fine. Thank you for considering me for the job.
And that's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. We need a cool-headed man like you on our team, Greg. That was a test, and you've passed. Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you. So I've got the job?
No, of course not. I don't employ gullible fools. That was the test, Greg, and you failed. Goodbye.
Oh, all right then.
Greg, that's the nonchalant attitude we've been looking for. You passed the test.
Have I really?
No, that was the test. You questioned me. No one questions me. No, if you wouldn't mind. Greg, you've passed the walking away test. Come on, sit down.
So, I've got the job?
Yes, you have.
Definitely?
Definitely. Oh, Greg, welcome to the company. Oh, sorry about all that test palaver. Can get a bit confusing, can't it?
Well, a bit, yes.
No, you're too easily confused. You failed the test. Oh, and I had such high hopes for you.
This is ridiculous.
Congratulations. This is ridiculous. You passed the test.
Oh, for God's sake. Keep your job.
Greg.
Come back in, Greg. Come back in.
No! You failed the test!
Okay, quick reactions, please. Before we get going to the next aspect, quick reaction. Funny, right? Sometimes it can happen that you really don't know what went wrong in the interview. That's what life is all about. You can do a good preparation, but
Jeff Wisely?
what can happen is
Come on in.
completely is out of your hands. So let's get going, and I think it's time that we really see what is it that we need to get ready with. So deliberately I'm going slow because thanks to Nrupul and team, I have got extra sessions. Can you confirm you're able to see the slides? I failed the test. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, now let's ask the fundamental question. Yeah, we want interview like this. Prem, I like your spirit. Okay, great. So I'm asking you a question: why job interviews are conducted? You are techies. Why wouldn't they give you an assignment, do something on HackerRank or OJ or whatever it is? Get done, yaar. क्यों interviews करते हैं? Why do you think interviews are done? Degree, not much matter to know the person. I'm just reading from the chat boxes. Mindset, to sort the candidate, check the skills, check the potential, to assess the skills, quality of the student, okay? To check the emotional quotient, my God, big word, EQ, okay? Check the personality, intention, mindset. Is he eligible for that position? Skill set and the mindset. Many of you said is right. But the most important reason is your resume shows eligibility, but not ability and suitability. This is a key word. Please write it down somewhere. Your resumes show eligibility, but not ability and suitability. To assess candidates' approach to problem solving, soft skills, and cultural fit, there is no better way than interviews. The platforms don't really show us, right? How does this person has the problem solving ability, soft skills and cultural fit for the applicant? Finally, to understand applicant's aspiration. Where does he want to go? Why does he want to do this job? Unfortunately, the only way we can do this, the most effective way, is job interview. And that is why companies spend a lot of time. Do you know at Masai school, we follow something called as a bar raiser program. How typically it is done is, I'll explain to you. Let's say you are applying for an SD1 position. The first thing that is done is you respond to that application JD with your resume and whatever the details. Then there is a HR team which does the shortlisting. Does it meet the basic criteria? They don't know the coding part of it, but that the candidate meets the criteria. Once that is done, the round one is done by the technical lead in Masai school. And once the round one, where they assess them for the skills. And once that is done, they go to the round two, where it is an interview, or sometime the assignment is sent, and then the HR round is done, and then finally he or she is being offered a letter. So why I'm giving you this context is, whenever an interview is done, there are three main questions which is on the interviewer's mind. Please remember, if interviewee, that is the candidate, has so much of stress, anxiety, and unanswered questions in his mind, but for an interview it is equally a tough job, because I need to make sure I select the right candidate. If I don't select the right candidate, the cost of wrong hire is very high, and the company will say, Yogesh, you hired, you said okay to this candidate, and to make that reversal is very long process. So the three main questions, the first one is, can you do the job? Beautiful question. The second one is, will you like the job? Because what happens is, if you don't like the job, you will quit. Then I need to do that all over again, or you will create trouble in the company. The third one is, can you work in a team? Oh, Rupak Mandal, very well said. Can you work in a team? Can you work in a team? Rupak, happy to see you here. I have been following you I think even before you joined Masai School, and Rupak has been very active on LinkedIn, right? Nice to connect with you, Rupak. Super excited to have you in the interview prep series. I want to hear the news that you have cracked the tech jobs and you have started working. Okay, Rupak? Great. So, three main questions to ask. Can you do the job? Will you like the job? And can you work in a team? These are the three fundamental questions. And I can assess this the best way in the interview process. Please write it down somewhere in a book, eligibility versus suitability. I'm giving you some big words, but this is the best way to understand why interviews are done. Eligibility versus suitability. Now, what is eligibility? Very easy. I want a candidate who is a BTech computer science. I want a candidate who has done a BCA. I want a candidate who has done graduation. These are basic qualifications. The second aspect is experience. I want a candidate who has 2 to 5 years of experience. I want a candidate who's a fresher. The third aspect is hard skills. What does it mean? I want a candidate who knows JavaScript. I want a candidate who knows MERN stack. Now, these are eligibility norms, which are very easy, right? I roll it out in my JD and I get the resume. I know this very easily. So at the resume stage, I'm only looking at the eligibility. And how do I test the hard skills? Luckily for tech, hard skills can be tested with a certain programming platform, right? What is suitability? Suitability is the behavioral tendencies. Now, how does the candidate behave? How does the individual behave at work? How does he behave when a project is given to him? How does he behave when he has got issues with the team members? The second aspect of the behavioral tendency is the soft skills. How does he communicate? How does he collaborate? How does he work in a team? These are all the softer elements. Does the candidate has the ability to learn? Please remember, the tech jobs are such that what you know today, definitely it will change in 2 to 3 years or 5 years, right? We know very well this. Prateek keeps talking about it. When we launched Android, it was Java Kotlin, and suddenly Flutter was coming into demand. And similarly, when we launched React on a certain framework, and things have changed, right? So ability to learn becomes extremely important. Temperament. Let's say that you are in a part of a project and tempers are always high when you miss deadline. How do you handle deadlines? How do you deal with people? All these are extremely important. These are suitability. Are you all with me, or is it getting a little overheated now as of now? I'm okay? The pace is okay? You're able to understand, right? I'm slowly getting you to the groove of interviewing, why it is done. Most people, what they do, they straight away give you a question bank. They will ask you to practice. It is an okay method, because if you don't know the why of it, the what and the how will not be effective. That's why I'm spending some time with you all to understand the science behind why these questions are asked. Interviewing is done. So let's understand this eligibility versus suitability in a beautiful 2x2 matrix. We have seen a lot of candidates, their eligibility can be low or high. Do you understand what you mean by eligibility? Now, for example, I need someone a basic degree, or someone with 1 year of experience, someone who knows a bit of a front end. Okay, this is my eligibility requirement. But I have an application, MTech, with 8 years of experience, knowing full stack web development, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, the eligibility is very high. Or the eligibility can be very low. I need someone with these, but this candidate does not have. Similarly, the suitability or low or high. And I already gave you the suitability is a function of soft skills, temperament, behavioral tendencies, interpersonal skills, and other elements. Now let's look at the quadrant 1, which is in the left bottom. Here is a candidate low on eligibility and low on suitability. What is it likely to happen? What is it likely to happen? What is it likely to happen? Here is a candidate reject. I have a certificate, but eligibility is low and the suitability is low. Total misfit, rejected. In fact, the interviewing person will ask, why the hell you shortlisted him? Let's look at a very interesting scenario. Eligibility is high, but the suitability is low. I realized this suitability of candidate is low during the interview process. What is likely to happen? Eligibility is high, suitability is low. Come on, quickly. Rejection. Why should you reject? Is very high. Eligibility. I want a front-end developer, I'm getting a full stack developer. Selected but no growth. Why do you think so? This guy can create problems in the company. And I don't want people who can create problems because he can't work in a team. He may be a lone wolf, right? He's a lone wolf. He can't work in a team. It's a team sport. I've told you many times. Coding is not an individual sport. It is a team sport, right? Now, let's look at the other quadrant 3, the right bottom. High on suitability, but somewhere average on eligibility. And this is the guy who will often surprises the individual because he has those abilities of learnability, ability to work in a team, interpersonal skills are good, he can acquire the skill. Obviously, no brainer is quadrant 4 is high performer, high expectation is also there. So please remember, all of us should move to that quadrant, high on eligibility, high on suitability. Now the question is, what are the challenges that you're likely to face in an interview? Can you list it down? What are the challenges that you're likely to face in an interview? Okay? Fear, okay? Fear. All right, guys, kya hai yaar fear likhta hai? Huh? This is not life and death situation, right? To fear. Face the questions never heard. Good one. Good one, Mohsen Iqbal. You're thinking in the right direction. What if they ask me which I don't know? Right? The most of you are writing the softer elements, confidence, fear, interpersonal skill, okay? Right? Now, the top 3 challenges basis our research is know exactly what questions to expect. I don't know. What are they going to ask? No, I'm sure when we are studying, we always wanted to know, hey, can you tell me what are the likely questions to come? And when the teacher says, please mark important, and it shall come in the final exam, we'll mark it red, we'll read that first, right? Do you think that will help you if I'm going to give you some exactly questions that you're going to get? If Nupul, Albert, Aman, and myself, if we give you, it'll be good to you? We are going to do that. Second is not just having the questions. What should be the response to that question which can create impact? If someone asks you, what are your career ambition? That is the question that's going to come. It's not just knowing the question. How you're going to respond to that question is even more important. Right? Similarly, a tech question. The third one is, how do you overcome your nerves, anxiety, stress, and deliver it naturally? Let me tell you, interview is a stress for all of us. Now, talking about stress, there are 2 kinds of stress. One is eustress, eustress. The other one is distress. The challenge is if you get into distress, you can't perform. In fact, you'll perform below what is your potential. But when you have a eustress, you will prepare better. Some amount of stress is important. Do you think when Sachin Tendulkar or MS Dhoni goes to bat out there, do you think they don't have a stress? Do you think Virat Kohli didn't have stress in this IPL after having through that season? Yeah, he has. But how do you use that stress to prepare better and perform better is what you need to figure it out. If you allow the stress to control you, then it goes to de-stress. But if you use stress to prepare better, perform better, practice better, then stress is good. Some amount of stress. Otherwise, people think, "Arey, interview hai na, dekh lunga. I'll take care about it." Right? So it's good to have that stress. Now, fundamental question: what is your interview goal? What is your interview goal? What is your interview goal? Can you tell me what should be the goal of the interview? Crack it, to get selected. Get the job. Rinky says perform. Get a job, get selected. What if I tell it could be something else? The goal of an interview is to create an impact that earns you a subsequent interview or selection. I'm going to use this word impact very strongly. To create an impact that earns you a subsequent interview or selection. Please remember, impact is what can make a difference because I have a pool of candidates with me for one position. Why would I select A versus B? Is basis the impact. Now I'll give you a simple example. What does this impact means? Let's say I want to hit a nail on this wall. I want to hit a nail on this wall. My wife has bought a new painting portrait and she says, Yogesh, hit a nail on this wall. I want to put this up. I take a nail and a hammer. I do 1, 2, 3. The nail is bending. The wall is cracking. The nail is bending. The wall is cracking. What is the wall offering? What is the wall offering? Distress? No. Resistance. Similarly, when you go for an interview, the interviewer asks you a question, the candidate responses, the interview is offering resistance. He's asking you a tougher question. He's asking you a deeper question. He's evading your question. The only way the nail can go into this wall is when I create the right impact. Right? If the impact is more than the resistance, the nail will go in. Similarly, if you create the required impact, you will get shortlisted for the next round. If it is the final round, you will get selected. Now, 1 hour back, I did an interview with Komal Singh. She has created the necessary impact with me. She came across confident. Clarity was very good. Composure was very good. The flow was good. The why was good. The way she explained her career progression was good. Why Masai school was good. So she has created the impact. Now, I have not selected her. I have shortlisted her. She will go to the next round. Please remember, very rarely you get selected with 1 round of interview. Most example will be very, very, very necessary. Right? Now, impact is a function of 5 C's. I want you to write it down. This is extremely important. This is the crux of it. When you come back from an interview, if you hear from the placement team, if Gargi or Shweta or Anup or Vishaka says that, hey, you did not get through the next round, you need to ask, where did I falter? Impact is a function of 5 C's. The first C is competence, which is very easy to identify, knowledge and skills. But a lot of people not just get rejected because of competence, because of their confidence in showing that competence. Now, how do you get confidence? There are 2 ways you can get confidence. One is by past experience. Many of you don't have experience, you will say. The other way to gain confidence is by practice and mock interviews. When you practice and do the necessary mock interviews, your confidence level will go up. When you are competent and confident, the next C will happen, and that C is conviction. Conviction in your front-end capability, conviction in your back-end capability, conviction in your data structures algorithm, conviction that you can work in a team because you've worked in projects. You have connected with people thousands of miles away. How many of you have done some projects, collaborative projects here? How many of you have done? All of you have done, right? Do you think you are more confident today than what you were 3 months back? Masai gave you a platform to do a collaborative project. Can you even imagine 3 months back telling someone that I will do a project, a collaborative project, and in which 3 of you, 4 of you, 5 of you, thousands of miles away, connecting on Zoom and doing it? Right? Conviction builds. The 4th is courage. Now, many of us think courage is what? Doing something daring. Like jumping from the 4th floor, taking on someone who's very strong. Now, these are very unlikely to happen. Courage in life on those doing simple things. Saying that this is something that I don't know. Please understand, interviews are not selected basis 100% of answers what you say. In fact, not required at all. In fact, interviewer will be very happy when you say that this is something that I didn't learn. This is something that I want to learn. A courage to accept the mistake. They will ask you a question, tell me an incident where you goofed up a project. Lot many people will say, no, I'm not goofed up a project. Or even when they say, I goofed up a project, I made up for it. If you have the courage by saying that, yes, I did a lot of mistake in this project. Having that courage is to base in your conviction. There is one thing that some students in the interview stage, they don't show the commitment to the job and commitment to the company. If I feel that this particular candidate is not committed to the job or committed to this particular profession, I feel that this guy is likely to quit. So you must create that impact that is necessary, the 5 C's for that. So sum and substance, friends, a job interview is a test. It's a screen test. And getting hired depends almost completely on the actor factor. If you know your lines, perfect your delivery, dress for the part, you will get hired. If you don't, you won't. Unlike acting, there is a retake, bits and parts. In an interview, that is not going to happen. So tech interviews are tough because they can test you. It's like cooking, right? If I say that I'm a great pastry chef, all I'm going to tell you is go ahead and make the pastry that you like. Or I'll say go make a Black Forest one, or make let's say a strawberry cheesecake, right? It's very easy to assess somebody. Unlike other domains, someone in accounting or marketing or sales, I can say that I know the market, I know things like that. Really, I can't test. But coding, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani can happen in half an hour. Very easy, right? But how do you ace that? With a combination of study, practicing questions, and doing mock interviews, getting that dream job can become easy. Okay, so this is what I was saying, the typical tech interview process. Initially, you give your resume, portfolio, GitHub, basis which they will say, yes, I want to meet Shashank, I want to meet Brijesh Rai, I want to meet Rupak Mandal. I'm just giving an example. There's one position, Shweta and team gives 20 resumes, okay, and portfolio link and GitHub link. Basis that they'll call for Shashank, Brijesh Rai, Rupak Mandal. I'm just giving an example. Most likely, companies coming to Masai school, they don't do the aptitude round. They go for a technical assignment. They will send you in a technical assignment. You accept the assignment, you work, it could be for a few hours or it could be as much as 1 day assignment. The moment you set the technical assignment, if the technical assignment is up to the expectation, then they will say that, hey, I want to meet Rupak, Brijesh and Shashank. All three have cleared, I want to meet. And then the technical round can happen depending upon the organization, 1 round or 2 round, and finally the HR round happens. So this is a typical interview process that you go through. So let's start learning. Enough of Gyan that I've given you for 1 hour. It's time to learn the actual pieces of it. Okay, so I'll make it very easy for you. Any interview in the world, tech interview, non-tech interview, SD1, tech lead, CTO of the company, CMO of the company, VP of the company, any role that you are applying for and you are going through an interview process, it comes to only 2 things. What to answer and how to answer to that question that is coming to you. I don't know how many of you have seen Mahabharata or Ramayana when you're growing up, that war scene, right? You know, one arrow is coming towards you, you leave another arrow, right? And then there is meeting and then it vanishes. So the arrows will keep coming at you. How you answer and what you answer will decide if you're creating the impact. Okay, so there are 3 parts in this entire interview prep series that I'm going to do. The one is what you need to do before the interview. The second one is what you need to do on the interview day. And the third one is during the interview. I'm breaking it down into 3 parts so that it is easy for you to understand. Okay, so let's get started with the part 1. It's all about preparation. My favorite quote is on that 5P, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So if you want to avoid poor performance, you start preparing well. As I told you, you face 3 challenges in the interview, right? To know what questions are going to come, to craft a great response, and to overcome the anxiety. So let's take the first one. How do you know what questions are going to come? Today it is much easy to know what questions are going to come. I'll tell you my own experience way back in 95. I was shortlisted from the campus for interview, and that was the first time the Asian Paints came to our campus. We never knew what questions they're going to ask. But today, luckily, Masai School and various platforms are there. You can largely expect what are the questions that are going to come in front end, back end, and data structures, algorithm, and go there. Okay. So The first question that is going to come, 99.99%, is introduce yourself or tell me about yourself. Right? Whether you like it or not, this question is going to come. A lot of people do it very badly. Pathetic they do. They are not able to create an impact in the first question itself. Please understand, you don't get second chance to create the first impression. Now, I want a volunteer from this 500 students who has the courage to unmute and introduce himself. Let's see who can do that. I will allow you to unmute now. Unmute, and also the video. Fantastic. I have Pushparaj Patel. Pushparaj, can you introduce yourself? Imagine that you are in an interview process and here is a question that is on your way. Hi Pushparaj, I'm Yogesh. Can you please introduce yourself? Go ahead, Pushparaj. I just took one so that we can set the context. Go ahead, Pushparaj.
Hello.
Go ahead, Pushparaj. Can you also turn on your video if possible?
Just a second.
Yes. Nice to see so many volunteers. I need to share this with Isha, Shruti, Maitri, Avinash, Samiksha, because not many people have that courage to talk in front of others, right? This is the first step. Go ahead, Pushparaj. Yes, go ahead. Pushparaj, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Pushparaj, hi, this is Yogesh. Thank you for applying for this position as a full stack developer at InstaMojo. Can you please introduce yourself?
Your voice is like
What's happening? Pushparaj, are you there?
yes, sir. I'm here.
So I've asked you a question. Can you please introduce yourself? Okay, I need to move to the next person. Sorry, Pushparaj. I think you're not able to turn on. So let's go to Sudhir Bhargav. Sudhir, would you like to introduce yourself? Turn on your camera and your mobile and unmute, please. Quickly. Guys, I don't have time. Be ready. Okay.
Hello.
Hi Sudhir. This is Yogesh. I am the tech lead at InstaMojo. Your resume has come to us for the position of a front-end developer. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi. First of all, thank you, Yogesh. And my name is Sudhir Bhargav. I was born and raised in Mumbai, and I've completed my education in Mumbai. Right now, I'm in a Masai school, and I'm learning full stack web development. And yeah, looking forward to become a software engineer.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sudhir.
Thank you.
More volunteer? Can I have one more volunteer? Okay, there is a hands going up. I'll quickly pick. Let's say Shubham Sharma. Shubham, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Shubham Sharma. I have completed my graduation in Pune University, and currently I am studying coding in Masai school.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Shubham Sharma. It was 15 seconds and Sudhir Bhargav was for 25 seconds. Why I'm giving you this time is very important. Okay, let's do one more and then get going. I would like to have Chandra Maurya. Chandra Maurya, can you unmute and turn on your video and introduce yourself? Imagine that you are in the interview process.
Yes, sir. Sir, it's visible.
Yes, visible and audible.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm Chandan Moria and I'm from Boisar, Maharashtra. I have completed my education in computer science from Vartak College, Masai. And after that, I have 1 year experience in TCS as a system admin. And currently, I am learning full stack web development in Masai school. and I'm looking forward for an software development job, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. So
And
maybe around 32 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to share with you uh, one introduction prepared by our student, and I want a volunteer to read this who can read it very naturally. I would request one second. No women students have raised the hand. How is that possible? One second, just give me a moment. Okay, Rohini, can you read what is coming up? You can just unmute and speak. Just
Yes, sir.
read what is coming up, okay? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I am Rakesh Shah from Ranchi. I graduated in BTech Computer Science during 2020 from Silicon College, Biju Patnaik University, Bhubaneswar. During my engineering, I was part of a team that was building a platform for placement services. This exposure excited me and I was keen to build a career in coding. I joined Masai School, which offers 30 weeks full-time course on full-stack web development program. At Masai School, we get hands-on experience to learn front-end and back-end technologies. About my family, father is a locomotive pilot with Indian Railways and mother is a homemaker. My elder brother works for a bank. My hobbies and leisure interest includes playing cricket, captain my college cricket team, and won inter-college tournaments at a university level and have keen interest in writing Hindi poems.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Quick
you, sir.
question to all 500 people here. Touch your hearts and tell me if you were the HR person or tech lead who's doing this interview, who would have created impact? A, B, C, or the D? No brainer, right? The most fundamental question that is coming to you is introduce yourself, and we mess it up. You are not even using a minute to speak about yourself. You're just saying your name, which I already know in the resume. You say, I have done my BTech, which I know already. Why am I asking this? Because I want to see your confidence. I want to see your conviction. Right? So this is a sample resume, sample introduction that is being made. Now let me tell you, there is no one way to make it. There is no one way to make it, but there are few things your introduction must have. So we at Masai School recommend this, but it is not mandatory. The first one is a no-brainer. You talk about where you are from, what has been your background. But the second part is missing in most of the students. There is no story. Why did you decide to do a web development as a career? What triggered your interest? The third aspect is, I am shocked that none of you said, some of you said, I'm doing a course in Masai School. Most recruiters will not know what is Masai School. Do you think the course that you're doing is as same as what you do in Udemy or any of those platforms on YouTube that offering? If you yourself don't tell what is this course is all about, intensity of the course is all about, do you think the recruiter is going to value that? Now, the fourth part is a little contextuous, whether you should talk about your family. Ask me, yes, and definitely yes if it is with HR. If it is in a tech round, you can skip it. But if you're going to talk to about HR looks for these things, right? Whether you are a person who you are going to be open about it or a closed person. And you're just, it also develops some kind of a connect here. Not mandatory, but I recommend it. A brief about your family and hobbies and leisure interest. And after all, you're all freshers. You may not have that much of time to talk about your past experiences, right? How do you fill it up? And this can also give some kind of an emotional connect to the interviewer also. So I'm going to help you in making this, and this is the most important. Now, if you do the number of words, if you count it, it will come to 138 words. Now, many of you might ask, what is an ideal length that needs to be while doing a introduction. It depends. But the research shows that too short or too long, you don't create impact. Typically, for an interviewer, something around a minute, minute and a half is good starting point. Now, what is this 138 words? Typically, we speak 2 words per second. It is considered as acceptable. Now, in a virtual medium, most of you are going to do a virtual interview. You should speak slower. So 100 words per minute is considered as a good one. So if you do an introduction something like this, which is around 138 words, which will last for a minute and a half, 90 seconds, it's a good time. Right? It must cover these 5 elements: name, location, education, work, internship, project, triggers, Masai school journey, key to differentiate, family, brief, introduction. Right? Please remember, friends, you only have one chance at a first impression. The first 60 seconds matters. You don't get a second chance to create that impression. The study has also shown discreetly, they have seen people form almost a decision in the first 2-3 minutes, and after that they keep looking for those qualities in the candidate to say yes or no. Right? And I can tell you also it happens very much with many of us. So what we have developed is we have developed a question bank. I'm going to share with you the 2 question bank. One is for the HR round or the generic round. The other is for the coding round. I'm not sharing with data structures algorithm because it's work in progress. Aman will share. And we are going to help you, and we are going to ask these questions to see whether you are able to express yourself. Now, always for these question bank that I'm going to give you, you must prepare L1 and L2, level 1 and level 2. L1 is an overview. It can be for a minute and a half maximum, but it can't be lesser than a minute because it will be too short. The next one is in-depth L2 with relevant situation. For example, if somebody asks you what are your strengths, you must be able to give an overview in around 60 seconds what are your strengths. But if the interviewer asks for a deeper question to explain why do you say that you have this strength, you must be able to go deeper, right? And if any follow-up answers are available, it is good to have. So let me share with you the 24 questions that we have curated basis my own experience and seeing the candidate. Whom do you see on the screen? Whom do you see on the screen? Usain Bolt, the fastest man on earth. Or somebody has broken, I'm not sure about it, the recent one. If you want to win the 100 meters race, your start has to be amazing, unlike a marathon, right? Now, similarly for an interview, during interview, the first question has to be super spot on. Otherwise, you will pay a big price. It is also known as an elevator pitch. It needs to be short, it needs to be direct, and it needs to be attention grabbing. 30 weeks in Masai school, 1,200 hours of coding, several projects, online learning, all this will help you to do that. Okay, so what we are going to do is I'm going to share with you the question bank. Can I request one of you to unmute? Yep, one of you to unmute. Who's that?
Yes, sir.
Who's this?
Sir, Rituraj.
Rituraj, I want you to read the first 5 questions, and I want you to read it with a lot of emotion. Read the first question.
Introduce yourself or tell me about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your career objectives? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Why we should hire you? Why do you think you are eligible for this job? How can you contribute? How will you be an asset for our company?
Okay, continue, Rituraj. Another 5 questions.
What is your greatest personal or professional achievement so far? Tell me about a team project you were involved. What was your role and what was the outcome? What are your salary expectations? Do you have any questions for us? Why do you leave your previous job?
Hold on. Yeah, somebody has to mute. There are some noise coming from the family background. Can you please check? Okay. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Okay, you need to be cognizant. Little things don't mean a lot, they mean everything. Right? I told you. So be aware of your surroundings. Okay, that was Pratik. Okay, can I have another volunteer? Who can be a volunteer? Yeah, Vaibhav, go ahead. I want you to read the next 5 questions. Go ahead, Vaibhav. Okay, Vaibhav is not able to do. You're able to unmute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Vaibhav.
So from where?
Question number 10.
Yes. Why did you leave your previous job? What is there a gap in your employment? Gap years after your education, if applicable.
Is it what or why?
Why? Sorry.
Okay, next one.
Can you explain why you changed your career path?
Now, if you look at these 3 questions, why did you leave your previous job? Why is there a gap in your employment? Why is there a gap in your education? Can you explain why you changed your career path? Question number 10, 11, 12 are pressure tactic question. They want to see how you react. I'm going to help you in answering these questions. Right? So next question I'll quickly read through and I'll mute all of them. There's a lot of noise coming. Why do you want to work with us? Why did you join Masai School? What has been your experience in Masai School? Tell me how others would describe you, right? Or the next question could be, how do you deal with pressure? How do you deal with pressure? Tell me a challenge that you have faced at work or life. How did you hear about this position? What does your perfect day or work look like? What are the other companies you're interviewing with? What are your hobbies and leisure interests? Do you know anyone who worked for us? The list can go on, but I got this 24 questions. So what we are trying to do is, I'm going to share this question bank with you. I'm going to share these questions to you on the Slack channel a little later. But meanwhile, I'll share these first 12 questions with you, and I'm going to give you an activity that you need to do. I want you to get ready with the first 3 questions. Introduce yourself. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Are you with me? The first 3 questions. And I want you to open a Google Doc and start preparing your own answers. The answers should be factual, the answers should be relevant, and answers should be at L1 and L2. What is L1? L1 is typically for around 1 to 1.5 minutes. 1 to 1.5 minutes, right? The next one you can speak almost for 2 to 3 minutes, and it's a long time. Let me tell you, to speak for 2 to 3 minutes is not easy. And if there are follow-up, you need to have relevant examples, okay, or situations. Situation that you need to have. Okay, cool. So I want you to open the Google Doc and prepare this. Please remember, when you are doing that, first we are covering what to answer. Then later on, I will help you in preparing how to answer. What to answer deals with knowledge. How to answer is the skill and the behavior. Both put together, you will create impact. The whole objective is, how do we create impact? That's what I want to cover today. I think we covered a long stuff today. Quick questions with you before I wind up. Do you think the session was useful? Can you type? Okay. Do you think the inputs given to you will help you in getting ready for interview? Okay. Now, I want those 2 commitments. I told you right in the beginning, the mutual expectation setting. Me and my team will give you the necessary inputs, insights. Me and my team will give you a platform called TapLingua. Somebody asked me, what is TapLingua? We will cover it with a video very soon. It's a platform for you to practice that will help you. The third aspect is, you will be very soon doing the individual assessment and coaching. All this will be given to you. But what I need from you is deliberate practice, consistent improvement, and continuous improvement. And I want you to start today. So today you have time, tomorrow you have time. I'm going to connect with you on Monday again, but I'm going to start with picking up students. I'll call out your names and I want you to share your introduction, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Just 3 questions. Please remember, little things don't mean a lot, they mean everything. Cool? So that's what I wanted to cover today. It's almost 1:25. It's time to call off, and that will help you in preparing those questions. I hope you have copied those questions. I will share this recording with you. I will share that question bank with you. All those things will give you, not to worry. What you need to do is dedicate 1 hour every day in the preparation. And if you do it consistently, I'll tell you, all of you can crack the interviews. Today we are at the stage of what to answer. I will help you with how to answer. Thank you so much for patient hearing. I enjoyed discussing with you. You were super active on the chat box, but even more I'm excited is number of people who raised hands that I want to introduce myself. That is the courage. I want, next time when I ask you, how many of you want to introduce yourself or any question, I want all 500 or how many other people are there that you want to raise the hand. This is the best time to make mistakes. This is like a net practice. Don't worry what other people are going to think about you. Right? So I want you to do that. Wonderful connecting with you. See you on Monday. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.